How do I know the best car for me? Recognizing how to select a vehicle can be complex, and with over 50 manufacturers vying for business and hundreds of models on the market, locating the right vehicle can at times feel like an impossible task, made even more difficult by the money at stake. Although this task can be overwhelming, if you examine what you require in a car and what you want, narrowing your options gets easier and you will end up with a vehicle that blends with your lifestyle. These factors will help guide you during the process. The type of car you want. Inquiring about the kind of vehicle you want may appear too simplistic. However, it's important to identify what you like and dislike before you start shopping for a vehicle. In this case, you'll consider the vehicles you gravitate towards naturally. Therefore, if you dislike SUVs, there's no need to shop for one. Passengers. Do you normally drive alone or with family or friends? If you have passengers, do they require considerable space or would they be comfortable in a smaller seat? If you don't have passengers, then a smaller car would be ideal. However, if you drive adults or have kids in vehicle seats, more space may be necessary. Identifying your passengers also implies evaluating the ease with which you can get into and out of a car. For instance, if you're dealing with little kids, you may want to avoid bending over a low-slung vehicle in order to buckle seatbelts. On a similar note, older persons or those with restricted mobility may experience difficulty getting into vehicles that are too high or too low. Therefore, it's vital you consider the prospective passengers before purchasing a car to avoid unnecessary inconveniences. Residential area. It's important to note that not all cars fit in every environment. For instance, a rear-wheel drive sports vehicle may sound fun until it snows, making it difficult to move from your driveway. If you live in an urban area, it might be easier to handle a smaller vehicle, which you can fit in smaller parking spaces. On the other hand, if you live in an area with bad weather, you'll probably want to consider vehicles with four- or all-wheel drive for the additional traction these systems offer on snowy or slick roads. If you live in an area that snows every winter, consider SUVs and vehicles with high ground clearance. It's also important to consider the cost of gas where you live, so your ideal vehicle doesn't drain your wallet. Price. Selecting a vehicle means very little if you can't afford it. When deciding on a new vehicle, price is crucial. So find out the amount it costs to maintain, insure, and register with your state. You'll find that most new vehicles have deals that could help you save money on the car's price or the financing. Furthermore, a deep discount may make a vehicle you passed on previously seem more attractive. Make sure you examine the fuel economy of the vehicle you are considering as well. After all, a vehicle is no good if you cannot afford to fuel and maintain it. Final thoughts. These days, the market offers countless car options for consumers. Therefore, the decision-making process can overwhelm you. Nevertheless, these tips will help guide you when selecting the right car for you.